Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura, and this video is going to be about some aspects of Yule and the winter solstice and the time around the Christian Christmas period that we may not have considered, and that brings something extra, I feel, or I have felt, to our midwinter celebrations. So, oh yeah, do you like, I'm just dressed up casually for the house. Yeah. Just how I hang out around the house, doing the hoovering. No, I don't do the hoovering. I do sometimes. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. We are approaching in the northern hemisphere the winter solstice. So you guys, the southern hemisphere, I know it's the summer solstice that you guys have. I think summer seems so far away from our really freezing time right now. I can't even say the word summer. But we are approaching the winter solstice, and I really love the winter solstice. Yule is really one of my favourite festivals, and I usually try and do something pretty powerful to celebrate Yule and the winter solstice. I either go to Stonehenge to watch the sunrise, or there's a spot in Glastonbury where you can watch the sun rise up the side of the Tor, in perfect alignment with the angle of the hill. So of course that's just a coincidence, and it was just made for gardening. No, it wasn't. That's a really powerful alignment, and I did that last year, and I watched the sun rise up the side of the Tor, and that was amazing and really wonderful. So I'd like to do something to really celebrate the rebirth of the sun on the longest night and the shortest day. But what I'm talking about in this video is something that I looked up last week, I think, when I was researching something totally different. You know, when you're kind of on a blog or on a website and you're reading something and you see it flashing up at the side. No, not adverts to buy clothes, that usually works with me as well, but this was another blog, another post, and I was looking at Mōdraniht. I was researching Mōdraniht and Yule, and I found this site about the 12 days of Christmas and some Yule celebrations that maybe been forgotten about and that aren't celebrated or aren't connected with as much these days. And it really, really fascinated me, because what it does is it brings the feminine energy back to this whole Christmas period. So it actually doesn't really matter what religious background you have. This is a kind of, you could have this as a ritual that you do, a ceremony, a remembering, a token to remember. But what I love about this is it really digs into the feminine part of our spirituality. Now I want to put a big note here that I'm not in any way, shape or form trying to get rid of the masculine side of any ceremony. I absolutely adore the masculine and the sacred masculine and the balance between the two. So this isn't about getting rid of the male in it, absolutely not. I'm all about the balance, and this is for me really important to genuinely hold the balance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine equally in harmony in ceremony and in everyday life. So this video is about bringing the feminine into the Christmas period a bit more. And I just wanted to say that this is not in any way pushing out the guys, but bringing back the balance, because there are strong female characters and celebrations that do occur at this time of year and have done for hundreds, if not a good thousand or so, a few thousand years. So let's get on with looking at the sacred feminine and the powerful mother energy that can be around at Yule time, at Christmas time, and to bring back that balance. And if we do feel a bit kind of out of sorts at Christmas time, if we feel that if we're not Christian, or if we're you know, on the whole Santa Claus thing, or Saint Nick, or even Krampus feels a bit, oh, really? This could bring some balance to that energy, so that we feel that we are honouring the mothers, the ancestors, and the divine mother, divine feminine at this time as well, because it is a powerful time of year. No matter what your spiritual background is, it's come to be a time which has been quite perverted by buying things and forced kind of cheesy emotional stuff. But there's some, as you know, you're watching this video, you know there is some genuine power and beauty at this time, and because it's in the collective psyche, the collective unconscious, that people have celebrated the midwinter solstice and the rebirth of the sun since we really started observing nature and observing the sun and the cycles of the years. So it's something in our blood to feel that energy at this time of something new, of the celebration at the deepest and darkest part of the year. And these celebrations have a lot to do with light, and they have a lot to do with the past, the ancestors. So we really do look at the balance of the light and the dark at this time. We want to bring the light back, but we are aware that we're in this darkest part of the year, and we're aware that we're in a time of death and rebirth. So, without further ado, let's look at some of the female characters that have come into Yule and have been celebrated around the world at this time of year. And one I really like looking at, so I found this last week, and then my friend Verity, who has an amazing blog called The Soulfire Woman, I'll put the link to her Facebook page in the blog below, because she forwarded something this morning on her Facebook page, and I'll put that link as well, because it's all great information. And it reminded me about this, what I'm going to talk about now. I was like, oh yeah, I was looking at that, and I just thought this is such a fascinating thing, and it's come up a couple of times, so it feels like this energy wants to be pushed forward a little bit at the moment. And again, as always, I apologise about my pronunciations, because we have, first of all, Anglo-Saxon and Germanic festival, which takes place on our Christmas Eve. So I know I think in Scandinavia you celebrate, I think, quote me if I'm wrong, that you celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve, I think, there. Well, here in the UK we celebrate it on the 25th. I think you guys, some of the people in Europe celebrate on the 24th, but in Germanic and Old Anglo-Saxon law, the 24th of December was called Mōdraniht, or Mother's Night. Love it, absolutely love it. Again, I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Night of the Mothers. And there's not lots recorded about this celebration, but I feel like we can intuit really what this night's all about. And we can, and again, even if you're not particularly pagan in belief, it can be a wonderful time to remember our mothers, the feminine line, and something that is often not done enough, to honour the feminine line of our ancestors. So if we are pagan, and maybe Wiccan, witchy, shamanic, however we choose to work, we can honour the goddess as well at this time. We can honour the goddess, the mother, the grandmother of this time of year, and we can also honour our mothers, linking that thread through time. So a lovely thing to do at this time is to make a little shrine to the mothers, maybe put some photos of your female relatives. Maybe I saw somewhere online that you can make an ancestor stone where you kind of draw or paint symbols of the ancestors, or what you feel as kind of the goddess or whatever, on this stone, and light a candle on the stone. That's really nice. You could make a little shrine to the mothers at this time, because at this time of year, apart from the Virgin Mother, which is a hard one for women to really get behind sometimes, we don't have many female archetypes these days to follow, but believe me, there've been plenty over time. So, I mean, I love the Virgin Mary, I love all the Marys, but there is so much more that we haven't looked at in pre-Christian folklore and myth. So, Mother's Night, and this is a lovely time where we can actually look at, we are honouring the mothers, honouring our own mothers, but also really making an offering to the goddess, to the mother of the earth, to bring fertility and life back to the land. So it's a time when we can really say, you know, we're in the darkest part of the year, here's the joy and magic and abundance we would like to bring back to the world. We can say thank you to what we've received this year, thank you for the lessons we've learned, thank you for what we've received, but also at this darkest point of the year, we're making a hope and a prayer and an offering that fertility to the land and fertility to our own lives will come back again as the sun is reborn. So this is, you know, the winter solstice is about the rebirth of the sun, and this is about the mother who does birth. So there's a really lovely time to acknowledge our ancestors, the female line. At the very least, can I ask you to raise a glass on Mother's Night, on the 24th, to the female ancestors, to those who have gone before, and if you feel that way inclined, to the goddess of the land who is birthing the sun again. As the lengthening of days begins and we go towards the brighter, longer days where life slowly starts to come back to the world. It's very important that both male and female energies and ancestors were honoured, so you can choose a different day to look at the male ancestors if you like. Maybe you want to choose the 25th as the male ancestors. I'm not sure what date would be right, but whatever's in your heart you could feel right about, do that. But this time of year, this rebirthing of the sun, it's a great time to honour the female ancestors. So yeah, the date's now Christmas Eve, potentially before, it might be just before the solstice, who knows, probably was, like, you know, but it's become the 24th of December now, and the choice is yours whether you want to do it just before the actual solstice, or on Christmas Eve, or on both days. But at the very least, raise a glass to the female ancestors around that time, and what could be lovely is to create an altar to honour the female ancestors and also the goddess of the land. So, another female energy and deity, well, not deity so much, she's a saint, but I feel the saint comes from a ancient pagan goddess. And this goes on in Sweden, in Scandinavia most strongly now, is December the 13th, so it's a couple of, I don't know when I'll get this video up, but hopefully by the day before the 13th, is St. Lucia's Day. Or Lucia, I don't know how you pronounce it, then Lucia, I'm not sure. And this is the Saint Lucia is a combined, I think, Christian or Roman saint with a pagan festival of light. So the combination is there. But she reminds me of Bridget quite a lot with the candles and the brightness and the light. The symbol of Saint Lucia is the bright light, so she has candles all around her head. She wears a crown of candles. I think in this day and age mostly the young women wear electric candles around their head, but it would have been, they'd have worn a crown of candles around their head, and they'd go, I feel like, in procession, and the other children would, there'd be one child chosen to be St. Lucia, other children holding a candle, and they'd process through the villages, through town, bringing light to the village and light to the houses. So there's a Swedish poem here that I found, sorry, a song, I think this is in English, it's translated, and this is for St. Lucia's Day. The night treads heavily around yards and dwellings, in places unreached by sun. The shadows brood, into our dark houses she comes, bearing lighted candles, St. Lucia, St. Lucia. So that's lovely. And also, something else about this is that she is connected to pagan times. I know she's a saint, but she's very much connected to pagan times. She often carries grain. She used to grain around the houses, so it's a fertility rite as well to the land, and they're thankful for the harvest that's been happening and hoping for a new year and a new harvest. And I've read also the crown is made of lingonberry branches, so they're evergreen and they represent new life in winter. So there's a real pagan element here of bringing light, bringing fertility, and this beautiful energy around the darkest of nights. This goes on still, so this could be a really nice thing to light a candle for St. Lucia on the 13th of December, or to maybe have a little altar in honouring the goddess of light at this time. And in Germany we have Christkind, and that translates to child Christ, I think, but actually again a little bit like St. Lucia, she is the Christkind is depicted as a beautiful woman, a bright shining woman. And there's there's plenty more, there's lots of others around that you can actually research and look into, and I'm going to put some links below as well. That Frau Holda is a favourite of mine, and I do talk about her a little bit in the Snow Fairies video, the Snow Queen and the Snow Fairies video. It's on my channel. That was the last time I saw lots of snow, I think. Here in Glastonbury there hasn't been any snow. Everywhere else there's snow. Oh well, I will stop whining. But Frau Holda is the surviving force of Holda. This is an ancient goddess, possibly one of the oldest European goddesses, and she is a powerful force of nature that, just like the wild hunt when Odin goes across the skies, or Gwynap rides across the skies in the winter and collects the souls of the dead to take to the afterworld, to take to Anun or to Valhalla or to the underworld, or wherever they will go, depending on which path you're from. Frau Holda used to go across the night sky, and the tradition is that she would take the souls of children who had died. So not killing children, but the souls of children that had died. Of course, that got twisted into kind of some weird fairy tale thing, but I feel like she was more the protectress of women and children and their souls. So, but she is an ancient goddess of life and death, and there's so much about her. I think I might do another video about her alone, because there's so much out there, and she has survived in Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales for Holda, and it's great she survived. But she, you know, it's great that she's in a fairy tale, but she was very, very, very important. And one of the things about this time of year is she's meant to go across the sky on a chariot pulled by geese, and shaking out the feathers, and it would create, and the pillows are the feathers, and it would send snow down into the land. So she's got this kind of generous side to her, hasn't she, Star? Yes, Star's come to say hello. Come say hello, Star. Her tail's come to say hello. A generous side to her, loving, generous side. But also there was the other side again. She was a psychopomp, going between the worlds, taking the souls of the dead. She also, oh, Star's come to knock the computer out of the way. That's fine, Star. You can do what you like, honey. There's a well to Frau Holda that she lives in an underworld realm through a well, so water, again, psychopomp, and between the worlds energy, so well and water is really important. But she would take the souls of the deceased into this underworld realm, so she has a life and death aspects as well. Just like a lot of the underworld gods do have, Mōdraniht takes the souls of the dead to Anun, and it's thought through Glastonbury Tor is a gateway to the underworld. So yeah, it's really, I find it really exciting to look at the different aspects of this time of year, because it can be quite, you know, it can feel a little bit deflating, and it's great because there are lots of pagan celebrations at this time of year, and the things you'll find even in the trees and the holly and the ivy and the mistletoe, of course, have an amazing pagan background. But I think when we can find more and more rich ancient myths and folklores and tales that really link us to our ancestors who would have celebrated this really hugely. I think this would be one of the most important festivals of the year, because it was a time of death and it was a time of rebirth. There's a time of hope that the sun and that life would come back to the land. And yes, I think our ancestors would have partied very hard at this time of year, because there wasn't any central heating and there wasn't any electric lights, and it was dark and it was cold, and you had to really almost dance and drink and feast and bring that life force back to the world. So it is a really ancient festival, and I hope you've enjoyed maybe finding out a little bit more about some of the background of some of the more feminine aspects of the Christmas period and the Yule period. And what I'll definitely be doing on the 24th of December is lighting a candle to the mothers, to the ancestors, and raising a glass and celebrating and honouring the female line that have gone before, and to the goddess of the land. So thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a lovely Yule. I might do another video before Yule. I'm going to be at Stonehenge, so I might hopefully be able to, I'm hoping to be able to get my phone back. I've had total year of phone drama, no one cares, but I'm just going to let you know why I don't do any out and about videos at the moment. It's because since a long time ago my phone is totally broken, and it did for a reason, I think, but really for months now I've been trying to get it fixed, and it's been very, very hard, apparently. So I'm going to hopefully get my phone back, which just means I'll be able to go outside and film and show you places that I go to. I know that I've just been doing sort of this, here I am sitting here, but I would like to do some out and about videos. So I hope I might get something by Yule, but I can't promise it. But I'll try and do a video from the Stonehenge trip. And there's been more videos coming soon. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any myths or folklore about Yule, about characters from this time of year in mythology and folklore and fairy tale that you'd like to share, please do in the comments below, or if you do a video about them, please let me know. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you all soon. Bye!